This is Unit 1 review, our first problem, an order of operations problem. So we're going to follow PEMDAS. We see grouping symbols, so we're going to work from within them first. So 5 times 3 squared minus 24 divided by 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 5 times 3 squared minus 12. Now, exponents. 3 squared is 9. 5 times 9 minus 12. Multiplication next. 5 times 9 is 45. Minus 12 is 33. Simplifying the expression, we're going to need to distribute 10 plus 4x plus 12 minus 5x. Now we're going to combine like terms. 4x minus 5x makes negative x, and 10 and 12 combine to make 22. Simplifying this expression, our properties of exponents, when we're multiplying with the same base, we're going to add our exponents, so 3 and 9 add together to make 12, and 6 and 2 add together to make 8. Another property of exponents says we're going to subtract, just like when we're multiplying we add our exponents, when we're dividing we subtract our exponents. So this would be 7 minus 3, which would be 4. Remember, when we have negative exponents, that we can just move them across the fraction bar and it makes it positive, so this would be 6t cubed t to the 4th over 15, and t to the cubed and t to the 4th makes t to the 7th, and then we can simplify 15 and 6. 3 goes into both of those, 3 goes into 6 twice, 3 goes into 15 5 times, so it's 2t to the 7th power over 5. Another property of exponent, this time we're taking an exponent or powers to a power, so I need to distribute this exponent, which is multiplication. When there's nothing there, there's invisible ones. So we'll rewrite the first part, a squared bc cubed, and this makes 3 squared a to the 6th b squared c to the 8th, because we're multiplying. 3 squared is 9, and then we're going to say a squared and a to the 6th will make a to the 8th. B and b squared makes b cubed, and c cubed and c to the 8th will make c to the 11th. The perimeter of a rectangle is 62 with a length of 4x and a width of x plus 2. What is the value of x? So we've got a side of 4x, a side of 4x, a side of x plus 2, and another side of x plus 2. And perimeter means to add them all up. So when we add all those up, 4x and 4x makes 8x, and x makes 9x, and another x makes 10x, and 2 and 2 makes 4, and that's going to equal 62. So now we can solve this. Subtract 4. 10x equals 58. Divide by 10. And so x equals, and we can call that 5.8. or I guess that would simplify to 5 4/5. 8, how do you know if an equation has no solution, one solution, or infinite solutions? If we get something that says no solution, we'll get an answer that doesn't make sense. We'd get something like 6 equals 5, and 6 doesn't equal 5, so that would be no solution. One solution, that would be just a normal answer, like what we just got, or x equals 5 or something like that. And infinite solutions is something where we simplify down to x equals x, or something like an integer equals an integer, and those are infinite solutions. How many solutions does 6m minus 3 equals 10 minus 6 times the quantity 2 minus m have? So we're just going to need to simplify this. So we'll distribute a -6. We'll get 6m minus 3 on our left side. 10, -6 times 2 is -12. And -6 times negative m makes positive 6m. We'll combine like terms. 6m minus 3 equals 6m, and 10 minus 12 makes -2. And so we can see right here that we're going to get no solutions, because when I try to get my variable to one side, the variables cancel out, and I'm left with -3 equals -2, which doesn't make any sense. So the answer is no solutions. You shovel snow, you charge $7 per driveway and earn $42. Let X represent the number of driveways you shoveled. Which of the following equations is an algebraic model for the solution? You charge, so it would be 7x, 7 times the number of driveways you do, and you get $42. 7x equals 42. Solve for the given value. So we want to solve for h. So we say, what's happening to the h? Well, it's being multiplied by L and W. So what's going to undo that? Dividing by L, W, divide by L, W, and we get h equals, because those simplify to 1, V over L, W. 12, solve for y. So what's happening to the y? It's being multiplied by b, and it's being added with ax. We're working our way backwards through our order of operations, so we're going to subtract ax from both sides. We're going to get by equals -ax plus c. We're going to divide by b, and divide by b, and divide by b. Now there's a couple different ways you can write that. The most common way you'll just see is ax plus c all over b. You earn $210 in 40 hours. At this rate, which equation below can be used to determine how much you'll earn in 55 hours? So you earn 210 in 40 hours. How much would you earn in 55 hours? So it would be an equation that looks like this, which looks like C to me. 14, a concert sold out in 4 hours. A total of $7,292 tickets were sold for the concert. At what rate did the tickets sell? So this is just 7292 over 4. So we're just simplifying here. So let's try to see if 4 goes into that whole thing. I know 2 will, because it's an even number and an even number. So let's see if 4 goes in. 7292 divided by 4. 4 goes into 7 once. Subtract. 4 goes into 32 8 times. 0. Bring down our 9. 4 goes into 9 twice. That's 8. 1 and 2, and 4 goes into 12, 13. So that's 1,823 per hour. Per hour. 15, let's solve this. So let me show you. Let's do it by getting rid of the fraction. So we're going to multiply both sides by the denominator. Multiply by the denominator. And I'll get 4 times the quantity. 2x minus 4 is 9 times 48. Well, 9 times 50. Right? We can do this as a distributive property. 9 times 50 minus 2. So 9 times 50 is 450. And 9 times negative 2 is 18. So 450 minus 18 would be what? 432. So that equals 432. We can distribute here. We'll get 8x minus 16 equals 432. We can add 16 and add 16, and we'll get 8x equals 448. 448. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. Little side problem here. 448 divided by 8. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 4 left over. Bring down our 8. 8 goes into 48 6 times. So x equals 56. Next problem, we're going to want to distribute 55 minus 27x minus 36 equals negative 64. We can combine like terms, so we get negative 27x plus, what's that, 19 equals negative 64. Subtract 19, and we get negative 27x equals negative, what's this, 83. And divide by negative 27, divide by negative 27. I don't know if that's going to go in evenly. 54. No, so let's just leave that. So this is x equals, and two negatives make a positive, so let's leave that as 83 over 27. I think 83 is a prime number. So let's leave it that. Let's make sure I didn't make a mistake here. 64, 55, and 36 makes 19. Right? Yeah. Subtracting it, add those together, and we get 83. Yeah, so that looks correct. We might check. Somebody might get some extra credit for seeing if I'm wrong there. $17. Add 5 to both sides. X divided by 3 equals negative 2. What's happening to the x? It's being divided by 3, so we're going to multiply by 3. The 3's will simplify, and we'll get x equals negative 6. 18. Clear our fraction, so we'll multiply by the denominator. Multiply by the denominator, that goes away. Now this is a 1, so I don't need to rewrite it because it's a 1. So we have 12n minus 4 equals 28 minus 20n. Let's get our n on the left side, so we're going to add 20n to both sides. And if we're getting our variable on the left, let's get our constant on the right by adding 4. So we'll get 32n equals 32. Divide by 32. And we get n equals 1. 19. Let's get rid of this fraction again. We'll multiply both sides by 4. Now when I multiply this right side, I just go to that 2. So this is 8 times the quantity 5b plus 1. The 4's simplify out. And I've got 3 times the quantity 24 minus 8b. Distribute and distribute. 3 times 24 makes what? 72. 72, and 3 times negative 8b makes negative 24b. 8 times 5 is 40b, and 8 times 1 makes 8. Let's get our b's on the right side here, so let's add 24b, add 24b. If we're getting our variable on the right, let's get our constant on the left, so subtract 8 and subtract 8. 72 minus 8 is 64, and 40 and 24 makes 64, so that's 64b. Divide by 64, and we get b equals 1. 20, add 2, p is greater than or equal to negative 2. Our graph would be at negative 2. We've got the equal sign, so we know we're going to be a closed circle. We're eating the variable, so we know we're greater than. All real numbers greater than or equal to negative 2. 21, divide by negative 1. When we divide by a negative, we need to remember to reverse our inequality symbol. Y is greater than negative 4. Or all real numbers greater than negative 4. This doesn't have the equal symbol, so it's an open circle. Greater than goes to the right. 22. X is being divided by negative 5, so we'll multiply both sides by negative 5. We need to remember to reverse the inequality symbol. We get x is less than or equal to negative 15. So we're at negative 15. We've got the equal symbol, so we're a closed circle. Less than goes to the left. 23, subtract 8. Negative 4x is greater than or equal to 12. Divide by a negative 4. When we divide by a negative, we reverse the inequality symbol. X is less than or equal to negative 3. All real numbers less than or equal to negative 3. It's got the equal symbol, so it's a closed circle. And less than goes to the left. How do I know it's less than? It's eating the number. Anytime we eat the number, we say less than. Anytime we eat the variable, we say greater than. 24, add 3. Negative 9x is greater than negative 18. Divide by negative 9. Divide by negative 9. We divided by a negative, so we need to reverse the inequality symbol. 2 negatives make a positive. So we have all real numbers less than 2. No equal sign, so an open circle, and less than goes to the left. 25. Add 13. Negative 2x is less than 30. Divide by negative 2. Reverse our inequality symbol. X is greater than negative 15. All real numbers greater than negative 15. No equal sign, so open circle, and greater than goes to the right. 26. Let's distribute. 5x minus 20 is greater than negative 3x plus 4. Let's get our variable on the left. So we'll add 3x to both sides. If my variable is going on the left, Let's put our constants on the right, so we'll add 20 to both sides. 5x and 3x makes 8x. 4 and 20 make 24. Divide by 8. All real numbers greater than 3. Open circle going to the right. 27 will distribute a -2. Makes -14 plus 2x. Now, we're not doing that to both sides, so I don't need to mess with the inequality symbol here. So what side do we want our variable on? Let's put it on the left so it stays positive. So we'll add 5x to both sides if we're getting our variable on the left side. Let's get our constants on the right, so we'll add 14 to both sides. And so we get 7x is less than 0. Well, that's still fine. We'll divide by 7. 0 divided by anything is 0. And so now we're just at 0, and we're less than 0, so that's open circle going to the left. 28, distribute, 6x plus 27, less than or equal to, distribute again, -4x plus 12. Let's get our x's on the left, so we'll add 4x. Add 4x if we're putting our variable on the left. Let's get our constants on the right, so we'll subtract 27 from both sides. We'll get 10x less than or equal to 12 minus 27 is -15. Divide by 10. X is less than or equal to what excuse me, what goes into both of those would be a 5. 5 goes into -15 -3 times, and 5 goes into 10 twice. -3 halves is where we are. We have the equal sign, so we use a closed circle. We're eating the number, so we say less than. All real numbers less than or equal to -3 halves. Compound inequality, we're going to need to do what we do to all three sides, so we're going to subtract 5 from all three sides. We get -8 less than or equal to 2x, and 11 minus 5 is 6. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. -4 less than or equal to x less than 3. They're in order. This is going to be an AND equation. We'd read this from the middle. All real numbers greater than or equal to -4 and less than 3. Our two numbers are -4 and 3. We've got the equal sign between the x and the -4, so that's going to be a closed circle. Don't have an equal sign here, so that's going to be an open circle. Go back here, we're eating the x between the x and the -4, so that goes to the right. And we're eating the 3 between the x and the 3, so that goes to the left. All real numbers greater than or equal to -4 and less than 3. Subtract 5, subtract 5. 4x less than -2. Divide by 4, divide by 4. That simplifies to -1/2. Add 2, add 2. 3x is greater than or equal to 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X is greater than or equal to 1. Bring down our OR. Our numbers are -1/2 and +1. We are less than -1/2, so that's open circle going to the left, and we are greater than or equal to 1. It has the equal sign, so it's closed circle, and greater than goes to the right. And that's why this is an OR equation, because we're either less than -1/2, we're either over here, or we're greater than or equal to 1. we can't be a solution to both at the same time. That's why we say or. Write a compound inequality that describes these graphs. Well, my numbers are 0 and 4. Put my variable in the middle. I'm going to the right with a closed circle, so I'm eating the variable with an equal sign. I'm going to the left here at 4 with an open circle, so I'm eating my 4. All real numbers greater than or equal to 0 and less than 4. This is an or because it's going away from each other, so we'll say or. And we are less than or equal to 0, so less than or equal to 0 here, or we are greater than 3. A water park charges $12 for admission and $5 to park your vehicle. Write an inequality that represents the possible number of people that could go for $50. Solve the inequality. So $12 for admission and $5 to park your car. So this is going to be 12. We'll say P for people that are going in, plus $5 to park our car, and that needs to be less than or equal to $50. So if we subtract 5, 12P is less than or equal to 45. Divide by 12, divide by 12. And P is going to be less than or equal to, now 45 twelfths. Well, if that were 48, it would be 4. So it's going to be 3 point something, right? 12 goes into 45. 12 goes into, that would be 3. That would make 36. So 9. So that's 3 and 9 twelfths. 9 twelfths simplifies to 3 goes into both of those. 3 goes into 9 3 times, 3 goes into 12. So 3 and 3/4, which really means we can get 3 people or less because we can't get 3/4 of a person in. So we can get less than or equal to 3 people total. Now if we had another couple dollars, you know, if we had 3 more dollars, if we had $53, we'd be able to get in 4 people. You want to go to the state fair and try your luck playing the games on the midway. The entrance fee is $5 and the games are $1.50. Write an inequality that represents the possible number of games you can play if you have $25. So that's the same exact problem. G for games times $1.50, so 1.5 G plus, it costs you $5 to get in, plus $5 needs to be less than or equal to 25. Subtract 5, 1.5 G is less than or equal to 20. Divide by 1.5, divide by 1.5. So this is really 20 divided by 1.5 is 3/2. So 20, which is the same as 20 times 2/3. So that's, I can't simplify anything, so 40/3. G is less than or equal to 40/3. How many times is 3 going to 40? 1, 3, 3, and 1/3, so 13 and 1/3. G is less than or equal to 13 and 1/3, so you can play 13 games or less. And that's it.